let's welcome in Thomas Savidge, American Institute for Economic Research, and Kent Strang is here as well with Americans for Prosperity. Welcome to you both. Kent, we'll start with you. Look, I don't know if it was political or not, but if you've got jobs numbers that are being revised, doesn't there need to be some sort of change so folks get it right the first time?
Well, right. The White House needs to rely on these reports to provide important economic data to our entire economy and the sector for folks to make decisions on this. And when you see the drastic revisions that were being done over and over and over again, it gives them cause for concern and to make a change. And we see that President Trump did that. And hopefully, as we continue, we see more stability and fewer revisions so we can continue to make those decisions for our economy.
Yeah, interesting point, too, because Stephen Moore, Control Room C03, Stephen Moore also using the new data here to compare family income numbers. And viewers may want to see this under President Biden compared to President Trump. Here's that.
In his first 5 months in office, starting in January through the end of June, the average median household income adjusted for inflation for the average family in America is already up $1,174. That's an incredible number. You gain 10 times more income for the average family than Joe Biden is because of your policies. Every income group did better. The red is President Trump. The blue is President Biden. Every single income group did better under President Trump.
Now, Thomas, perhaps you can make sense of that. He's talking about income specifically. Does that tie to inflation in any way?
Yeah, that is. So what Mr. Moore was saying there, even after adjusting for inflation, and that is an important thing because especially over the past 5 years, we have seen above average inflation. And so you need to be able to control for that and reduce some of that, because if you're looking at the numbers, what we call nominal numbers, that really gives a distorting picture because the value of your dollar is shrinking. So you have to control for inflation there to look at those changes in income.
All right. So again, positive, right? It seems as though if you've got more money coming in, you could also potentially spend that here with U.S.-based goods. I know that that's obviously what the president's tariffs hope to achieve. He's also been busy nominating Council of Economic Advisors Chairman Stephen Miron to fill the open governor role at the Federal Reserve. Stephen's been a guest here on National Report also. We spoke to him just yesterday. The president shared this Truth Social a little later on in the day, saying, "It's my great honor to announce I've chosen Dr. Stephen Miron, current chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors, to serve in the just vacated seat on the Federal Reserve Board until January 31st, 2026. In the meantime, we will continue to search for a permanent replacement." Stephen has a Ph.D. in economics from Harvard University and served with distinction in my first administration. He's been with me from the beginning of my second term, and his expertise in the world of economics is unparalleled. He will do an outstanding job. Congratulations, Stephen. Kent, what do you make of this appointment?
Well, just yesterday on your network, Mr. Miron talked about how there will be an economic boom thanks to the policies of the One Big Beautiful Bill, and he's 100% right. It makes the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act permanent. It provides some important resources for small businesses to reduce their tax burden, to have machinery expensing at 100%. There's some great provisions here, and I hope to see that Mr. Miron continues to drive that so we can have an economic fire for our economy.
Yeah, Thomas, your thoughts on that, obviously filling that board spot and looking ahead, obviously, here with tariffs. There's a lot of pushback now with Prime Minister Modi of India. But Miron is a big fan of tariffs and what he sees as what it could potentially do for this nation and ultimately for Americans. As you take a live look here at one of the port cities here, we're talking about foreign goods and tariffs that are associated with those. Your thoughts there, Thomas?
Well, I think it'll be interesting to see how things play out. I think Mr. Miron, Dr. Miron, excuse me. I think Dr. Miron there, he's brought up some important criticisms of the Federal Reserve, some of that groupthink that goes on, and a lot of that groupthink that has enabled mission creep. But I think we also want to be cautious, too, and make sure Dr. Miron is focusing on the Fed's primary goal, reining in that mission creep, and focusing on monetary stability, because that's really is what, if the Fed is focusing on monetary stability, that is what's going to help the American people. That's what's going to make them not just have that boost in income, but make them feel like their dollar really goes a long way.
Yeah, it'll be curious to see what the Fed Reserve actually looks like next year, right? When Jerome Powell officially exits, and who would fill that spot, and then what interest rates could also look like. Thomas Savidge and Kent String will all have to stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for joining us today.